Hey guys, and welcome on into a early edition of Picks on Net NHL Picks and Predictions. I'm your host Terry Edelman at TE Picks over on X, ready to break down the Friday NHL slate. We have a ton of games to go over on the slate, which we will of course get to. First, we will start the show as we normally do, taking a look back at the last show. Just bear with me for a second as I bring up a few things here. I will jump into the chat, actually. I'll jump into the chat. Just telling people that I was going to be a few minutes late. Big slate, breaking down every game, so I have a bunch of slides to put up on the screen here. So taking a look back at the last slate here, Tage Thompson anytime goal, unfortunately was a loser. The Sabres lose this game 4-2, but Tage Thompson was not involved. Moritz Seider, his point streak came to an end, minus 120, an unfortunate loss there. Sam Reinhart, his streak came to an end. Brad Marchand scored, so he got back on track, but unfortunately, Reinhart did not. Jacob Chychrun, over half a point, ended up being minus 125, right around my cutoff point. It's minus 140 tomorrow, but we'll discuss that here in a little bit. Cashed, he once again scored a goal. Jacob Chychrun continues to shoot the puck a lot. 8 shots in this game against Winnipeg, and he scored a goal. Chicago team total under 2.5, unfortunately lost. Was looking good early on, unfortunately lost. The Wild getting the win against the Hawks. Minnesota now 16-0-1 in the last 17 meetings between these two teams. But the Hawks found a way to score 3 goals. And we'll be discussing both of these teams on the show. And to finish off, Braden Bowman, over half a point, a nice winner here. Continues on rocking and rolling, scoring points on that top line with Barbashev and with Eichel. My other 2 premium plays yesterday were both winners over on the site. I had Washington in regulation and the over in Florida and Philadelphia, which didn't really look too good, but it got there, and that's all that matters on yesterday's slate. I'm going to jump into the chat here. Lemon water. It's actually really good. Yummy. Mr. Edelman. Hello, Mr. Earl. How is it going? But we've got a bunch of games to discuss here Friday. Of course, if you're wondering, why is he doing a show now? It's because a lot of these games are early on. So the first game starts at noon, 1, 3:30, and then a whole bunch of games starting at 4 p.m. So I did want to get the show in early. And that's interesting. We don't have many confirmed goalies. I see one here in Samuel Montembeault for the Montreal Canadiens. Otherwise, everyone is unconfirmed. I'm seeing interesting here for Vancouver. Nikita Tolopolo is unconfirmed, but I guess kind of projected to maybe start here. So that's kind of interesting. A new goalie here. But we're going to start the show and jump right into the first game here, which is the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Detroit Red Wings. This game happening at noon Eastern time. For people on the West Coast, I guess like 8. So a pretty early game here. How these two teams done against each other in the past? Detroit 6-2 in the last 8 meetings between these teams. 2 overs, 2 unders, 2 games finished with 6 goals for a total of 6. This total is 6.5. So 2 overs and 4 unders in the last 6 meetings. Back-to-back games between these two teams have gone to overtime. So we've seen some close games between these two teams recently. And when I look at this one here, I don't want to bet against the Tampa Bay Lightning. When I've bet against the Lightning, obviously they had a very rough start to the season, but they've been on fire recently. And every time I bet against them, I've got burned. Tampa 14-7-2 now, 6-2-2 on the road. They've won their last 5 games: 5-1, 3-0, 5-3, 2-1, 5-1. So in 4 of their last 5 games, they've given up 1 or 0 goals. Not giving up a lot. Detroit, they've lost 3 of 4. Their last 2 games, a 4-3 loss against New Jersey, and then a 6-3 loss to Nashville in their last game. What concerns me about taking Tampa Bay here in this situation is just the fact that Detroit's own them, and that Detroit just got blown out at home. Well, I guess blown out. They just lost by 3 to the Nashville Predators, the worst team in the NHL, at home. Lost back-to-back games. This should be a bounce-back spot for Detroit, but I don't want to take them. I don't want to bet against Tampa, and Tampa's playing really well right now. Looking at players on streaks here, Nikita Kucherov over 1.5 points, plus 140. 4 of his last 5 games, he has done that. Anthony Cirelli on the top line for the Tampa Bay Lightning, minus 115 to get a point. He has points in 4 of his last 5. I'm very, very close to pulling the trigger on that, actually. And I think I did actually mean to add that now that I look at it. Let's see here. I do want to make sure. Yeah, he's still scheduled to be here on the top line. I'm not sure when Braden Point is coming back. But Cirelli, Kucherov, Hagel looked really good on that top line for Tampa in their last game. So Cirelli to get a point, minus 115, 5 points in his last 3 games. I do think I'm going to be adding that, actually. Let me there we go. Because I've got names listed here. So I just underlined Cirelli so I can remember to add that after the show. I'm going to be adding that. So that's going to be my early play, is Anthony Cirelli over 0.5 point, minus 115 on the top line. There's just value. There's value with him. Other players with value here, not a whole lot. Darren Radish for the Tampa Bay Lightning, 1.45. He is plus 101 to get a point in this game. Goals, Brandon Hagel, 3 games in a row, plus 185. Alex DeBrincat, 3 games in a row, plus 140. James Van Riemsdyk, back-to-back games for Detroit, plus 550. So some nice plus money there. Assists, Anthony Cirelli, 3 games in a row, 4 of his last 5, plus 180. So if you don't want to go with the minus 115 with the point, you could go with the assist at plus 180. Brandon Hagel has an assist in 3 games in a row, plus 135. Lucas Raymond, back-to-back games with an assist, minus 110. And Patrick Kane, 3 games in a row with an assist, plus 126. So there's quite a few players actually here in this early game that you can look at here tomorrow. But we'll continue on along. The New York Rangers and the Boston Bruins. The Rangers, minus 130 road favorites here. The Bruins, plus 110 home dogs, and a total of 6 here in this one. The Rangers, 12-11-2 in the season, 10-4-1 on the road. Boston, 14-11 in the season, 8-4 at home. The Rangers have won back-to-back games, 3-2 against St. Louis, 4-2 against the Carolina Hurricanes. I will have a little bit of a rant about them coming up later on. If you've already seen on X, if you follow me on X, you'll probably know where that's going to go. But we'll talk about Carolina here in a little bit. Boston, they've won 2 of their last 3 on the road, now coming home, where they've played pretty good hockey at 8-4 in the season. At this point in the season, I did not think Boston was going to be 14-11. They've played better than expectations. How these two teams done against each other? Well, the Rangers 5-1 in the last 6. So the Rangers have had success against the Bruins. When it comes to the total, 3 of the last 6 have gone over 6.5. 3 of the last 6 have gone under 5.5 between these two teams. And then recent games between that these teams have played. 4-2 for the Rangers, 3-2, 3-2, 6-3, 3-2. And then the Bruins have been an under 3-1, 3-1, 2-1, 4-3, 3-1. So no real edge here to the total. When I look at this game here, though, from a prop perspective, I have not pulled the trigger on anything here in this one. 15 games. I can't bet everything. But Adam Fox, if I'm pulling the trigger on something here, it's Adam Fox over half an assist, minus 105. I think that's a pretty decent price here for Fox. Some spots at minus 135. It looks like BetMGM has minus 105. Obviously, not a lot of books have point props out yet. We'll see what Bet365 has. Let's see what Bet365 has. Because Fox assist, especially now that he's on a 4-game streak here. Minus 105 at Bet365 as well. So Fox has an assist, 4 games in a row, multiple assists in 2 of those games. So he's heating up for the Rangers. Let's see here. Guys on point streaks with value. Not a whole lot. Trocheck 3 games in a row, minus 130. Fox, if you just want him for a point, minus 135. 4 games, obviously, in a row. Trocheck has scored in back-to-back games, plus 230. Power play is both quiet for both of these teams. And then, as I said, Adam Fox assist. So really the best way to go in this game is to take Adam Fox assist. And then I kind of lean maybe with the Rangers, but not enough to pull the trigger here in this one. Hello. Oh, there we go. Hello from Sweden. Happy Thanksgiving, mate. As well. I should have started off with that at the beginning of the show. I'm Canadian, so my Thanksgiving is already passed. But yes, happy Thanksgiving to all the American viewers. I appreciate y'all. But we will go on along to our next game. This is going to be a really good game. I know I'm not just saying that because it's the Wild, but this is a battle between 2 of the hottest teams in the NHL right now. Colorado, minus 170, road favorites. The Wild, plus 145, home dogs. Total of 6.5 here in this one. Colorado, 17-1-5. 8-1-3 on the road. They've won 10 games in a row. The Wild, 13-7-4, 7-3-3 at home. But the Wild have been one of the hottest teams in the NHL. This is going to be, as I said, a great game to watch. When I look at it, previous games between these teams, Colorado 6-1-1 in the last 8 between these teams. 4 of the last 6 have gone over 6.5. So we actually do see some higher scoring games between these 2 teams. Now, the way these 2 teams are playing right now is not high scoring. Obviously, Colorado has 3 consecutive shutouts. And then the Wild have shut out 2 of their last 3 opponents. So when I look at this one, I kind of want to bet the Wild. And no, not just because I'm a fan, but because how well they played lately, plus 145. If anybody's going to beat Colorado, it's going to be one of the obviously top teams in the league, or a team that's on a hot streak, and that's the Wild right now. So I do lean with Minnesota, plus 145. I want to see who's in goal. Obviously, Philip Gustafsson started the last game. Don't know if they put Jesper Wallstedt here against Colorado or if he starts Saturday against Buffalo. This is going to be a real sign on what John Hines does. Does he continue to rotate and go to Wallstedt here, or does he save Wallstedt for tomorrow? For Saturday against Buffalo. Kind of want to see that before I get to it. If Jesper Wallstedt is starting here in this game tomorrow, I will likely be pulling the trigger with the Wild at this underdog price. Richie, a loyal viewer of the show, his, I guess, favorite Wild player, Marcus Johansson. Why am I saying that's Richie's favorite Wild player? Because he Richie continues to bet him, and Johansson continues to cash. Plus money tickets. He has a point 8 of his last 10 games, 3 games in a row, plus 130 on that second line. And another player that Richie's been betting is Brock Faber. And Faber, a point in 4 games in a row, plus 165. He's playing very well right now for the Wild. And then otherwise, not a whole lot of value with other players, even with Colorado players. I don't really see anybody. Ross Colton has a point in 3 of 5, plus 135. But really the guys on streaks are the Wild players. Goals, Kaprizov has scored in 4 of his last 5 games, 3 games in a row. And he has had success against Colorado, scoring 4 of his last 6 games against the Avalanche. So if you're looking for a Wild player, a prop, and you don't really want to go to Johansson or Faber, Kaprizov anytime goal. Brock Faber has scored in back-to-back games, plus 750 to score here in this one. Colton and McKinnon both have scored in 3 of their last 5. Plus 110 for McKinnon, plus 350 for Colton. Boldy power play point, 3 of 5, plus 240, but the Avalanche have a really good penalty kill. Assist streaks, Zuccarello 4 of 5, plus 125. Johansson back-to-back games, plus 210. And that's basically it here for this game. Let's see here. Stop Gio coming on in to say hi. Hey, Stop Gio, how's it going? What makes you take an assist over a point prop? I know it's player tendencies, but what about the price? Is there a number that makes you pick one or the other? Yes. So everybody's different. This is a great question. Thank you. So this is everybody's different in what they do. For me, obviously the difference between the two, between the point prop and the assist prop. But for me, I would rather take a point prop if possible. Now, if the point prop is like minus 130 and the assist prop is like plus 110, plus 115, plus 120, I'm going to go with the assist prop just because of the plus to get the plus money. Minus 130 is kind of my cutoff point. For sides, for player props, I don't like to go past minus 125 unless I absolutely have to. But yeah, it's kind of about the price and then also what the player is doing. So if the player to get an assist is like plus 165, plus 170, but you can get his point prop at like plus 110, I'm going to take the point prop because obviously you've got the insurance if he scores, if he gets an assist. It's all just kind of about what you like. But for me, yeah, it kind of has to do with the odds mostly and obviously what the player is doing. Makar goal, 2 of last 4 and point and 9/2. Yeah, Makar's been good. Like he's on a streak, yes, but value wise, to bet his point prop, you'd have to do it as a parlay piece or of some kind. But up next we have and don't worry, I do have official plays coming. I did give a play in the Tampa Bay game, so that's really, but I do like a lot of the later games. This one's really interesting. Calgary plus 165 and Florida minus 200, a total 5.5 here in this one. Florida 2-1 in the last 3, but Calgary is 7-3 in the last 10. Calgary has been a team that's given Florida some trouble. And now obviously Calgary this year 8-14-3, 4-10-1 on the road, pretty awful. Florida 12-10-1 in the season, 8-4-1 at home. Obviously not doing as well as one would expect. Coming off that 4-2 loss to Philly, it was 2-2. And I was thinking, okay, this game's going overtime. My over 5.5 is dead. There wasn't much time left. And then all of a sudden, I check back and it's 4-2 Philly. It's like, wow, awesome. Great for my over, but not great for the Panthers, obviously, to winning that game. 6-3 loss to Edmonton. They beat Nashville 8-3, and then they lost to Philly in their last game 4-2. Calgary had won 3 games in a row. 6-2 against Buffalo, 3-2 in a shootout against Dallas, and then 5-2 against Vancouver. But then faced Tampa Bay, a team I mentioned earlier that I don't like betting against. And a good thing I didn't there. Obviously, 5-1 win for Tampa Bay. So when it comes to the side here, and 3 of the last 4 between these teams have gone under 4.5. So games between these two teams, now they only face each other twice per year. We've seen very low scoring games. But Calgary's been, both of these teams have been an over team recently. So obviously Calgary 5-1, 5-2, 3-2, 6-2, 5-2. Florida 4-2, 8-3, 6-3, 1-0 against New Jersey, 8-5 against Vancouver. Maybe when it comes to the total, I would disregard previous history because these two teams are so heavy to the over right now. And obviously, they only face each other twice per year. So previous history stats don't matter quite as much when it comes to this situation. Looking at player props here for Calgary, the guy with the best value is Matt Coronado, over half a point, plus 105. He has won in 4 of his last 5 games. His streak did come to an end in the last one. A play I'm really looking at, and I may add, I have 12 plays for tomorrow, so don't know if I'm going to be adding too much. But Sam Bennett, over half a point, 3 games in a row, 4 of his last 5, facing his former team, obviously. Now, of course, it's been a while, but his last game against Calgary, he got 2 points against them. Points in 4 of his last 5 games, 2 multiple point games. His line is playing really well on that third line. So I do lean with Sam Bennett to get a point here in this one. Goal streaks, nobody on any kind of big goal streak here. Same with power play. Assist streaks, Carter Verhaeghe and Aaron Ekblad both have assists in back-to-back games. Verhaeghe plus 150. Ekblad plus 175. And then Nazem Kadri, Rasmus Andersson both have assists in 4 of their last 5 games. Plus 135 for Nazem Kadri, plus 180 for Rasmus Andersson in this one. But yeah, this game, one I'm passing on here in this one. Calgary off a poor defensive effort, and Maurice called out his team for being slow and not taking care of the puck in the last game. So I see both tightening and bet the under. Okay. Hey, previous history says this is going to be a very low scoring game. What I've seen recently scares me off that. So for me, not one that likes to bet unders. I did bet the Blackhawks team total under, obviously, and that didn't work out. Unders don't seem to work for me. So, but on to our next game. Yes, I've got to play here. Kings minus 120, road favorites. The Ducks plus 100, home dogs, and a total of 6.5 here in this one. First time these two division rivals are facing off this year. And this has been a very one-sided history. And I'm going to say that for a lot of games today. For Friday, for tomorrow. A lot of games with very one-sided histories. The Kings, 12-1-1 in the last 14 games between these teams. They've absolutely dominated Anaheim, but they've absolutely shut the Ducks down. Anaheim team total under 2.5 in 7 of the last 8 meetings. 6 of the last 7 going under 5.5. So when these two division rivals face each other, the Kings win. It's very low scoring, and the Ducks score 1 or 0 goals. Now, having said that, I have a Ducks player prop coming, but when it comes to the side here, this is the first time these two rivals are facing off this year. So obviously all that previous history is from previous years. Now that doesn't mean it's useless. We've seen with the Ducks, they lost to the Wild that they've had trouble with. They just lost to Vancouver, a team that's dominated them. And now they have this Kings team coming in here, a team that has dominated them. But call it my gut feeling, I think the Ducks do get the win here in this one. I think they bounce back after their loss in their last game, 5-4 to Vancouver. The Kings have lost 3 of their last 4. They got a 2-1 win there against Ottawa. Actually, their last 2 wins were against Ottawa, 2-1 and 1-0. The Kings have been playing low-scoring games, so this probably is a low-scoring game. But for me, I absolutely have to take Beckett Seneke. I regret not taking him in the last game. I have bet him at times this season, but over half a point, plus 100 for Seneke, top line, top power play. And when you can get a player for a point who's on the top line and the top power play, it's kind of something that I just have to bet. Yes, low scoring games between these teams in the past, but this, I think we could see some different things happening here in this one compared to the past. Seneke is a point 5 games in a row, as well as 7 of his last 9. Plus money to get a point. I absolutely have to take him. I love the construction of that new top line with Cutter Gauthier, Leo Carlson, and Beckett Seneke. I love that. I love it. And obviously Gauthier, Seneke, both on 5 game point streaks. Carlson, a 4 game point streak. Leo Carlson is minus 180 to get a point. Cutter Gauthier is minus 180 to get a point. The other guy in their line, Seneke, is plus 100 to get a point. And top line, top power play, no brainer here. Give me Seneke. He's got the value. Plus 100 to get a point here in this game. Other guys to look at, Jackson Lacombe, back-to-back games, 3 of his last 5 with a point here. Kings, guys on streaks, none. Obviously, they've been playing low-scoring games, which would be the reason for that. Cutter Gauthier has scored in back-to-back games, plus 180. Jackson Lacombe has scored in back-to-back games, plus 650 here in this one. Assist streaks, Cutter Gauthier, 5 games in a row, plus 135. Troy Terry, 4 games in a row, plus 105. And Beckett Seneke, 4 of his last 5, plus 190 to get an assist. He usually does. He is more of an assister than a scorer. Plus 190 for the assist. I'm going with plus 100 for the point because this could be a low-scoring game. So I don't want to mess around with the with the point or assist. So I'm going with the point because I got it here at plus money in this one. And I've got some big plus money plays coming, so it's okay. I don't mind taking a plus 100 because I've got some big plus money games coming. And here's a stat that I didn't mention. Thank you, Terry. Seneke point, all home games this month but 1. His play has really picked up of late. Exactly. And he's plus 100 to get a point. Great value. But we'll continue on along with our next game, and this should be a really great game. From a player prop betting perspective, I could have went with 4 player props in this game, at least. Montreal plus 150, road dogs here. The Vegas Golden Knights minus 180, home favorites. Total of 6 in this one. If you are a Montreal fan, or obviously if you're someone that's been paying attention to Montreal games recently, they have been a very high-scoring team. They have been going over the total a lot recently. 12 of their last 14 games, they've gone over 6.5. Vegas has kind of been back and forth when it comes to the total. Obviously, some games under, some games over. But when I look at this game here, Vegas 7-1 in the last 8 games between these two teams. And 6 of the last 8 have gone over 6.5. As I mentioned at the beginning of the show, this is the only game with a confirmed goalie. We've got Samuel Montembeault, who will be starting here in this game. Jakub Dobeš has, I believe, started the last 2 games here. Bear with me for a second as I check that. Sorry, the last 4 games Jakub Dobeš has started in. So now Montembeault will start here. And he only gave up 3 in his last game against Boston, a 3-2 loss, which was a good game for him, unfortunately. So then looking at Vegas here on the other side, they've lost 3 in a row. 4-3 in overtime to Anaheim, 5-1 to Utah, 4-3 in a shootout to Ottawa. So Vegas has been giving up goals. Montreal has been involved in high-scoring games. I think the over is a good look here. I think Vegas team total over is a good look here. And I do think Vegas wins this game. I think they end their 3-game losing streak. For me, again, we're talking about guys with value. Braden Bowman, over half a point, plus 145. Now, he's not on the top power play anymore. Mark Stone coming back means Bowman has moved down to the second power play. But still on the top line with Eichel and Barbashev. That's how he got his point cashed for me in his last game. He has been consistent for this Vegas Golden Knights team. He has a point in 5 games in a row and 6 of his 8 games played this season. So playing really well right now, plus 145 to get a point. It's just great value, especially when you play with Jack Eichel. So this has been obviously something I've been betting, so something I'm going to continue to bet on here. Now looking at other players in this game, as I said, other players. Mark Stone comes back and just picks up right where he left off. Now on a 7-game point streak. Minus 200 for a point, so it'd have to be a parlay piece for him. Cole Caulfield is on a 5-game point streak. He's had success against Vegas. He has a point in 4 of his last 5 games against Vegas. So Caulfield parlayed with Suzuki. That would be a good look. Suzuki a point in 4 or 5. And he has had success against Vegas, a point in 5 of his last 6 games against Vegas. So I would parlay Caulfield and Suzuki together. Demidov has a point in 4 games in a row, plus 120. Shea Theodore has a point in 4 of his last 5, minus 110. Noah Dobson and Lane Hudson from Montreal both have points in 4 or 5. Noah Dobson plus 130. Hudson minus 105. Ivan Barbashev has a point in 3 games in a row, plus 120. There's a lot. There's a lot of guys with value here. As I said, I could have easily pulled the trigger on 4 more plays. But as of this moment, just sticking with Bowman here to get a point, plus 145. But really do lean with Noah Dobson here. I like the price of plus 120. He's been doing good. And obviously I like Bowman, so I do like Barbashev as well. Plus 120, obviously better odds here with Bowman. But we will continue on along with our next game. We have the New Jersey Devils and the Buffalo Sabres here in this one. New Jersey, minus 120, road favorites. The Sabres, plus 100 home dogs, and a total of 6 here in this one. And I got to say, I'm a bit surprised with the odds here. The Devils, only minus 120 road favorites. I mentioned before, I'm not somebody that really thinks about fishy lines, or I'm not one of those people that think that will tell you like these lines are fishy, and I don't know if I necessarily believe in all that kind of stuff. But obviously there are lines that make you scratch your head a bit, and this is one here where I'm not quite sure why the Devils are only minus 120. I think they should be bigger favorites here in this game. New Jersey, 5-2 in the last 7 meetings between these teams. 6 of the last 8 going over 6.5. The 2 games that did go under were the international games that happened in Prague. So not necessarily saying that that's why they went under, but those are the only 2 games between these 2 teams that have gone under. The Devils have won back-to-back games, 4-3 against Detroit, 3-2 against in overtime against the Blues. The Sabres coming off a 4-2 loss to Pittsburgh, but 9-10-4, 8-4-2 at home. The Sabres play better at home. They've won 3 of their last 4 home games. all by big margins. 5-1 against Edmonton, 9-3 against Chicago, and 4-1 against Carolina. They did have the 6-2 loss to Calgary in there, but they've won 3 of their last 4 at home. Again, the side odds don't really make sense here with the Devils at -120, and don't really want to go against Buffalo at home in this spot. I think if Buffalo is going to win a home game this weekend, it's going to be this one. I think they're going to have trouble against Minnesota on Saturday. So we'll see what happens here in this one. Boston money line and Geeky anytime goal. All right. Sounds good. Was that one of the very first games? Did we already break? Yeah, we already broke that game down. But yeah, you might be a little high, Irish King, but best of luck. Not a bad luck. Not a bad luck with Geeky. But we'll continue on along. Actually, no, sorry. We won't continue on along. I forgot to have a play in this game. Oops. Luke Hughes, over half a point, +105 here in this game. Why am I taking Luke Hughes over half a point? Well, the guy's on a heater right now. He has a point in 3 games in a row. Multiple points. Sorry, that's against... my mistake, sorry. He has a point in 3 games in a row for New Jersey and 6 of his last 8. So he's playing really well, and he's had a lot of success against Buffalo. 3 of his last 4 games, he has a point against Buffalo. 2 of those games, multi-point games. So had success against Buffalo, is playing well right now. Yes, even though when the Sabres win at home, they still give up some goals. So if they do win this game, I still think Luke Hughes can get a point here in this game, +105. Other guys on streaks for the Sabres, it's Jason Zucker, points in 4 games in a row, -110, playing really well with Jack Quinn, who has a point in 3 games in a row, +105, and Ryan McLeod, who has a point 3 games in a row, +130. So if I was going to bet Sabres players here in this game, it would be either Zucker, Quinn, or McLeod, or some kind of mixture between the 3. Goal streaks. Well, there's 3 guys on 3 goal streaks here. 3 game goal streaks. Nico Hischier has scored in 3 games in a row, 4 of his last 5, +175. Jack Quinn for the Sabres has scored in 3 games in a row, +330. And Timo Meier has scored in 3 games in a row, +175. Timo Meier and Nico Hischier have been lighting it up on that top line with Jesper Bratt on that top line. And the offense has really come from Hischier and Meier, obviously both on 3-game goal streaks. Says it all. Assist streaks, Zucker, 4 games in a row with an assist, +180. Nico Hischier, while he's on a 3-game goal streak, he's also on a 3-game assist streak, +115. Ryan McLeod has an assist 3 games in a row, +220. Luke Hughes has an assist in 3 games in a row, +135. So Luke Hughes' assist is +135. I took the point prop at +105. Only a 30-cent difference there, and obviously the insurance in case he scores. And that's it for this game. Go to the chat. Buchnevich assist in 6 of the last 7 against New Jersey. Okay. He's for St. Louis though, right? New Jersey are very good, but Luke's brother needs to return. Yeah, they miss Jack. And yeah, Nico has been very good. Very good recently. Obviously a goal and an assist in 3 games in a row. That's not easy to do, for sure. But we'll continue on along with our next game, the Ottawa Senators and the St. Louis Blues. The Sens, -110. The Blues, -110. And a total of 5.5 here in this one. The Blues, 4-2 in the last 6 meetings between these teams. 4 of the last 5 have gone over 5.5. So we usually see some I guess, higher scoring games between these two teams. And the Blues usually find a way to win. The Sens, they've been an under team until their last game against Vegas, but their previous 5 games, 1-0, 3-2, 3-2, 2-1, and then the 4-3 against Vegas. They've won 3 of 4. And then the Blues, losing 4 or 5, all 4 losses, 3-2 scores. All 4 losses, 3-2 scores. 3 of those losses were in overtime. So the Blues have been tied 2-2 a lot going to overtime and have lost. And looking at the Senators, 2 of their last 3 wins were 3-2 scores. Both games against San Jose and Anaheim, 3-2. So as I break this game down, and this was not pre-planned, this is just me breaking the game down, and I just saw that, I am curious on what the 3-2 final score is here in this game. Let's see here if I can find it right now. I might not be able to. Correct score on a Bet365 is not available yet. But if you are one of those people that like to play a correct score, 3-2. 3-2 in this one. Now, who wins? Past history says the Blues, but the way the Blues have been playing recently, yes, they've had a lot of 3-2 games, but they've been losing. So I think Ottawa to win this game 3-2 is not a bad look. Is not a bad look here in this game. Looking at guys on streaks here, Pavel Buchnevich has a point in 3 games in a row, plus 100. And that's basically about it with guys with value. No really goal streaks, no power play point streaks. Buchnevich has an assist 3 games in a row, plus 170. And that's basically it. So not a lot of guys on point streaks. I wonder if we could get to 3-2 in this game. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see what the odds are for that 3-2 score. I might have to sprinkle on that. Pass. The King, St. Louis versus Senators. Yeah, you could pass in this one. But moving on along to our next game. The Philadelphia Flyers and the New York Islanders. The Flyers, plus 120. Road dogs. The Islanders, minus 140. Home favorites. And a total 5.5 here in this one. Philly, 4-2-1 in the last 7 meetings between these two teams. 4 of the last 6 going over 6.5. So you've seen a lot of high-scoring games between these two teams. And 4 of the last 7 have gone to overtime. Give me the draw here in this game at plus 320. Why am I taking the draw? Well, as I just said, 4 of the last 7 between these two teams have gone to overtime. And when you look at what these two teams have done recently, Philly went to overtime a few games ago against St. Louis. The Islanders, 3-1 loss in their last game, but they went to the shootout against Seattle before that. Both of these teams were overtime teams a lot earlier on in the season, including the 4-3 shootout win for the Flyers earlier this year. And the last game against Florida could have went to overtime, but obviously some late goals. The draw plus 320, I just have to with the past history here and with the fact that we have seen a lot of overtime games this season. The percentage of games going to overtime is up quite a bit this year. Point streaks, Owen Tippett, 4 of his last 5, plus 140. Tyson Forster, 3 of his last 5, plus 115. Couturier, 3 of his last 5, plus 130. Not a lot of guys hot offensively right now. So, yes, 4 of the last 6 have gone over, but I think we could see a lower scoring game. Wow. The last 5, neither of these teams have a power play goal in their last 5 games, which is kind of crazy. So don't expect a whole lot of action on the power play in this one. Owen Tippett assist, 4 of his last 5, plus 300 here in this game. But no player props for me in this one. I don't need much of an excuse to bet on the St. Louis Blues. That's just men. Both really attractive teams, Philadelphia and the Long Islanders. Yeah, the Thailanders. Shout out to the Ice Guys. Yeah, I agree. They are a draw team. I think that was more last season. Yeah, I agree. But we'll continue on along. More games left. Quite a few games here on the slate. But Vancouver, minus 120, road favorites. The Sharks, plus 100, home dogs. Total of 6.5 here in this one. Very one-sided. Vancouver, 16-1 in the last 17 meetings between these teams. 3 of the last 4 have gone under 5.5, and back-to-back games between these two teams have gone to overtime. That's 16-1 is obviously a very dominating previous history, but these two teams have not faced each other this year. And the Sharks team is a bit different this year. Coming off that 6-0 loss to Colorado in their last game, I think we are going to see a Sharks team respond here. The Canucks ended their 3-game losing streak with a 5-4 win against Anaheim. The Canucks have been an over machine. If you like betting overs, let's see here. I'm going to go through them all. So it's going to take me 3 years. No, I'm kidding. 4-3, 5-2, 5-4, 5-2, 4-3, 5-4, 5-3, 4-3, 6-2, 8-5, 4-2, 5-2, 5-4. That is the Canucks' recent stretch of games. I don't know exactly how many that is, but that's a lot. Very high-scoring games from the Canucks. Now, 3 of the last 4 between these teams have gone under 5.5, but if you're betting an under with the Canucks right now, you've got some big balls because not something I would do the way this Canucks team is playing right now. Now, looking at this game, when it comes to guys on streaks, Philip Hronik, 4 of his last 5 for the Canucks, plus 135. Jake DeBrusk, 4 of his last 5 games, minus 125. Not a lot of guys in streaks for the Sharks. And by not a lot, I mean pretty much none. Now, Celebrini has an assist in 3 of his last 4. So he's been assisting recently. But minus 132 to get an assist. Wow. He's minus 135 to get an assist. So there's obviously no value there. He did miss a practice, but it's all good. He just a maintenance day for Celebrini. But ultimately, this game, I can't get to anything, but I'm kind of rooting for the Sharks a little bit. I kind of like the Sharks team. I can't really explain why. They have a bright future. And I'm probably going to hate them in a few years when they're beating up the Wild a lot, when they become a good team. Vancouver over. Want to talk you off it. 16-1 is dominating. Well said. Yes, very dominating. I don't like the mechanical terminology, but yes, Vancouver are habitually over. Yeah, they're an over team. But we'll continue on along to our next game. The Toronto Maple Leafs and the Washington Capitals. You guys know what's coming here. Well, some of you. Toronto plus 125 road dogs. The Caps minus 150 home favorites. And a total of 6 here in this one. Washington 2-0-1 last year against the Leafs. But the Leafs had dominated in the before that. 8-1 Toronto was in the previous 9 before that. 3 overs, 1 under, 1 game finished with 6 goals when you have a total of 6 between these teams, which is the total now. For me here in this one, give me Jacob Chychrun, anytime goal, plus 310. Now, shop your lines. There are a couple books out there with plus 410, I believe. Bet365 has plus 375. I went with the 310 at FanDuel. Why? Because I did release this play to clients. and I want them to be able to get the. Obviously, if they can find better odds, they can. But I want it to be the most available. I don't like to give out where I give out like the plus 450 that's only available at one book that most people can't get. Yeah, that's not me. So plus 310, but is what I'm locking it in here for. But shop your lines because you could probably get better odds. Jacob Chychrun, anytime goal, plus 310. Why am I taking him? Well, because he is a scoring machine recently. Has scored in 4 games in a row, and the books will no longer let you bet his point prop unless you bet. Bear with me for a second. It was a minus 140. So out of my price range now. Has a point in 9 games in a row. So his point is definitely a good parlay piece. But he scored in 4 games in a row. 2-goal game against Columbus. He's been shooting the puck a lot. 5 shots against Montreal. 2 against Tampa, 4 against Columbus, 8 against Winnipeg in his last game. I don't want to say hottest goal scorer in the NHL right now because there are some guys that have done a little bit better, but for defensemen, he is the hottest goal scorer when it comes to defensemen right now. Plus 310 is just great value. Great value. And obviously, if you can get the plus 4 up to the plus 400, that's even better for Jacob Chychrun. But I can't talk about defensemen in this game without mentioning a Leafs defenseman, Oliver Ekman-Larsson. I should be adding his point prop for sure. A point in 7 games in a row. And 10 of his last 11 games. He has a point plus 110 to get a point here. Why have I not taken Ekman-Larsson? Well, I just feel like if I take him, his streak is going to end. Now, I'm not one that usually believes in that for the most part, but it does happen, obviously. That's why a lot of people don't like to jump on streaks when it's been going, and especially one that's on a 7-game point streak. Yes, Chychrun's on a 9-game point streak, but it's very difficult, especially from a defenseman, to do that. But Ekman-Larsson, plus 110, great value. John Carlson, another defenseman for the Washington Capitals, a point in 8 of his last 10, 4 of his last 5, minus 105 to get a point. Great value with him. Nylander scored in back-to-back games for Toronto, plus 180, and John Carlson has scored in back-to-back games, plus 625 for the Capitals. John Tavares assist, plus 110, 4 of his last 5. Oliver Ekman-Larsson assist, 4 of his last 5, plus 135. And then Tom Wilson assist, 3 games in a row, plus 135 here in this one. Let's go down. I'm going to pretend I didn't just hear. Oh no, it's just here. Oh no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Rich, but yeah. Go Sharks against your Canucks. Your Canucks have dominated the Sharks for a long time. Let the Sharks have some fun. No, I'm kidding. Strange game. Leafs versus Washington. Chychrun. Yep, Chychrun. If you're looking for player props here, it's Chychrun. But there's some other guys as well. Defenseman here. Thanks for explaining the point, assist, goal, and your thought process. Great info. Hey, no problem. Thanks for asking the question. That's a great question to ask. And then obviously, as we've gone through some of these games, we've seen like the difference isn't a lot for some players, but it is a lot for others. So it all kind of just depends. But our next game, the Winnipeg Jets and the Carolina Hurricanes. The Jets plus 185, road dogs. The Hurricanes minus 225, home favorites. A total of 6.5. If you think I'm backing the Canes at this price, you've lost your mind. I have zero interest in backing the Canes at this price unless I know who is in goal. Because some teams, it really matters who's in goal. Other teams, it doesn't really matter as much. Let's look at Carolina's last, bear with me, eight games. They have 5 losses. Anderson loss. Their wins, Kochetkov, and Bussey. If we look at overall on the season, Anderson, 5 wins, 8 losses. Bussy and Kochetkov combined, 9 wins, 1 loss. I do not understand why Frederik Andersen continues to see the net, the majority of the time especially. There was a goalie alternation going, and I understand that. But Andersen has started back-to-back games. The Carolina Hurricanes have lost back-to-back games. I want to fade the Jets. I do. I've been fading the Jets recently, and it's been going well. And I think without Hellebuck, and so far that's been the case, the Jets are a fade team. But I cannot back the Canes at this price. Obviously, I would have to take them in regulation or at the puck. I don't even know if we get really good value within regulation, to be honest, but or the puck line. But zero interest in doing that without knowing who's in goal. Now, I see Kochetkov listed as day-to-day, so it's going to probably be Anderson or Bussy. It should be Bussy. Brendan Moore just has to look at everything I just said. Watch this video, but you don't know. Obviously, you won't watch this video, but look at the stats. They show for themselves. Yes, I know coaches like to go with the guy they're paying, their veteran, but it's about winning games. Anderson is not helping you win games right now. So, all that being said, this game is a pass at this moment. Now, like I said, even if it was to be Brandon Bussy and that, I kind of want Kochetkov because he's just been the best of the 3 goalies. But in regulation, it's still probably going to be like minus 150. So, yeah, there's just no value here in this one. Player props, Shane Gostisbehere point in 3 of 5, plus 105. But not a whole lot. Goal streaks, Gostisbehere back-to-back games, plus 650. Assist streaks, Connor 4 of his last 5, minus 105. Morrissey 3 of 5, minus 105. Nikolai Ehlers assist, 3 of his last 4 games, and obviously in the only game he's ever faced against his former team, he got an assist, and he has plus 145 for an assist. Ehlers point, minus 132. So yeah, there's a pretty big difference there. So I would probably go with the assist for Ehlers here against his former team. A lot of people will be on the goal against a former team, but I would maybe look at the assist here. But we will go back to the chat. 6.5 goals seems like a lot. Yeah, it is, but it depends who's in net. Goaltending, understood. Yes, goaltending matters a lot for Carolina right now. Pass might be the best way to go. There's a lot of great games on the slate. Pittsburgh and Columbus. The Penguins plus 125 road dogs. The Blue Jackets minus 150 home favorites, and a 6.5 here. A lot of 6.5s on the Friday slate here. Oh, shoot. Go back here. Rewind. Didn't mention past history between the teams here. Carolina's won the last 2, and they're 7-3-1 in the last 11. So Carolina has had success against the Jets, 4-2-1 to a total of 6. But back here, Columbus 4-1 in the last 5 between these teams. 7 of the last 8 have gone over 6.5. We've seen very high scoring games between these teams. And 3 of the last 5 have gone to overtime. Give me the draw here. My second draw play of the day, plus 350 in this one. Bear with me as I bring it up. Obviously, as I said, 3 of the last 5 games between these teams went to overtime, including the previous games these two teams faced against each other this year. Pittsburgh has gone to overtime in 2 of their last 5, and Columbus has gone to overtime in 3 of their last 4 games. So both of these teams, overtime against each other in the past, overtime recently, and the draw is at plus 350 over on FanDuel. So give me the draw at plus 350 here in this one. Taking a look at players on streaks here that have value. None when it comes to Point props, not really much with goals or power play points or assists. So, yes, very high scoring games between the teams in the past, but maybe stay away. Pittsburgh has been an under team. Their last 5 games, all under 6.5. So I would maybe stay away from the total, but I like the draw here, a plus 350. Should mention, both draw plays are quarter unit plays, so smaller than my normal 1 unit plays. The draws are more sprinkles, but I do want to bet them when it's a good time to bet them. But we'll go back to the chat. Renski has an assist in 21 of the Jackets' last 23 games when lined as a favorite. Okay, very interesting. Thank you to Terry. He is a limping hero. We're written all over him. I agree. Pens are showing great character. Yeah, they're kind of falling off after a hot start, but they're still hanging in. But 2 games left. I really like the last one. 2 plays of the last one. But this one is very interesting here. Nashville, minus 105. Road dogs. I almost said road favorites. Blackhawks, minus 115. Home favorites, and a total of 6 here in this one. Nashville, a team I want to fade. They are a team I am looking to fade, but not against the Blackhawks. Now, the Hawks could very well win this game, and Hawks fans will definitely hope so because they've lost 4 in a row. If you look at the stats this year, Nashville 7-12-4, 2-5-2 on the road. They've been awful. They are coming off a 6-3 win in their last game against Detroit. Chicago 10-8-5, 5-4-3 at home. Lost 4 in a row. The Hawks are coming back down to earth here. They had a very, very hot start. Much better than anyone expected. They're coming down to earth here. Nashville 12-2 in the last 14 meetings between these two teams. The Predators have had their success against their division rival here in the Hawks. 2 of the last 3 have gone to overtime. And when it comes to a total of 6, 1 over, 4 unders, and 1 push. Ultimately, so many games on today's or on the Friday slate. This one I'm going to pass on, but I feel like a lot of people are going to take the Hawks at this price at home at minus 115 against the Predators, but I'd be careful here. I'd be careful. I don't know if this is the opponent that the Preds are that the Hawks want to face right now. Guys on streaks, Bertuzzi point, minus 145. No real value there. Goal streaks, Nashville, Nick Blankenburg has scored in back-to-back games, plus 900, which is kind of interesting there on defense. Bunting and Blankenburg both have power play points in back-to-back games, plus 450 for Bunting, plus 650 for Blankenburg. Assist streaks, not much here, really. So not a lot of guys on streaks here in this one. Interesting. Nashville players are making lots of babies, apparently. Would like to bet the Blackhawks, but pass. Warning. Yes, thank you, Warnoff. Everybody, I'm giving you guys the stats. If you like the Hawks in this game and if you want to bet them, go right ahead. I'm just letting you guys know that obviously the stats and my breakdown of the game and my thoughts, I wouldn't bet the Hawks here in this spot. But final game of the night, Utah and Dallas. Utah plus 125 road dogs. The Stars minus 150 home favorites and a total of 6 here in this one. Dallas 10-1 in the last 11 games between these two division rivals. Now, obviously, not all those games were Utah's Utah. They were Arizona previously. 3 of the last 4 games going under 5.5. So we have seen some lower scoring games between these two teams. How are these two teams doing recently? Well, Utah 12-9-3, but 5-6-2 on the road, coming off a 4-3 loss in their last game against Montreal. Dallas 15-5-4 in the season. Dallas has been excellent but more on the road. 6-4-1 at home. Now, they've been playing a lot of road games recently, so during this hot streak, but they've had a lot of success on the road. For me, you guys know the first play. I'm going back to him one more time. Jason Robertson, anytime goal, plus 120. No, he didn't score yesterday, so his goal streak came to an end, I believe, at 7 games. But bear with me for a second. 7 games. I think he's going to get back on track here. I think he's going to get back on track. He's going to score once again, so I'll take him plus 120. Not the best odds, but for a guy like him and the heater he's been on, it makes sense. Rope Hintz has scored in 3 games in a row for Dallas, plus 200. So there's some value with Hintz. But my other play, because I'm taking 2 stars props here in this one, give me Tyler Seguin over half a point, minus 105. Tyler Seguin has been playing very, very well recently. He has a point in 6 of his last 8 games. 4 of those games were multiple point games. So a lot of these games, he's not just getting 1, he's getting 2 points. Playing very well right now. And what has he done against Utah/Arizona? 3 points, no points. 2 points, 1 point, 3 points. So 3 of his last 5 games against Utah, he's got multiple points. Playing so well right now, minus 105 to get a point. There's value there. There's value with Seguin here in this spot. And I do believe he is still, he was still on the line with Hintz and Robertson. So 2 guys on big streaks right now, and Robertson, Hintz. You got Seguin there, minus 105 to get a point. There's just great value with Seguin here in this one. Other guys on streaks, let's see here. Logan Cooley, back-to-back games at the point now. Obviously, he had that big 5-point game the game before last, but plus 105 to get a point for him. Dylan Guenther, minus 115, obviously his line mate, has a point back-to-back games as well. They might be starting to heat up. I mentioned Rope Hintz already. No real power play point streaks. Assists, Tyler Seguin assist. 4 of his last 5, plus 190. So you could go with the assist prop, but like I said, if I can get the point prop, minus 105 isn't plus money, but it's close enough. Close enough for me. Cooley, back-to-back games with an assist, plus 210. And Guenther, back-to-back games with an assist, plus 200 here in this game. A division game altitude 10 to under. Thank you. No worries. Dallas at home. Yeah, Dallas hasn't been quite as good at home lately, but I think they're better. They are better at home than Utah is on the road. So I would be happy to bet Dallas at home today. Yeah, if I was betting Dallas, I would look at them in regulation here. Minus 150 is out of my price range, but there's a lot of people that don't mind betting minus 150. So if that's in your range, for me, minus 130 is my cutoff point. So I would probably look at in regulation in this one. But that is the Friday slate. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. If you're looking for premium plays, I do have a 3-pack over on picksandparlays.net, which has 2 totals and a side, and then a additional side play for one of the later games as well. Over on picksandparlays.net. Link is in the description below. Don't buy my player prop 3-pack that's on the site because I've already given you guys all 3 of those props on this show. Either this side play or the side and 2 total plays on the site. You mentioned Seguin multiple times listening. Yeah, because he's doing really well right now. And I want to make sure that you realize how great he's doing. So I mentioned it a couple times. But that's the show. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments what you guys like for the Friday slate. And we'll be back for another episode of Picks on Net, NHL picks and predictions for the Saturday slate. I'm not sure when that show is going to be. Like I said at the beginning of the week, show times this week are kind of all over the place. So we'll see what happens. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next show.